Hi, today is August 29th, and I'm Juliana Hock, and I'm an ADHD coach for inattentive professionals and adults to rewrite their stories of what's not working into empowering stories about their unique brain wiring and strengths. And today I'm talking a little bit about inattentive ADHD and what happened to me last week so that I can maybe help someone along in their inattentive journey. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I experienced last week. And last week, I basically spent 5 days under a rock trying to process something that was challenging for me. And in the midst of being under that rock, I basically was having a hard time processing what it is I was trying to get to. And as a result, I got nothing done in those 4 days, absolutely nothing. It wasn't until the fifth day that I said to myself, I can't have this on my mind and my chest anymore. I need to get this out. And I just wanted to laugh about it with you guys, with my other inattentives out there, because I just, I had such a hard time. I was getting in my own way, and I really wasn't able to accomplish anything else other than what my mind was focused on. And, with ADHD coaching, I preach, to take a pause and to feel the anxiety where it's happening on your body. And for me, I can't take a pause to touch the anxiety on my body because I don't feel the anxiety. In fact, I feel the anxiety where my brain hyper like it doesn't stop going. And so I can I can touch my head like this, but I don't have an area like on my chest or my stomach or anywhere to really help me acknowledge that I'm stuck. So where I wanted to get with this video is, in situations like what I had for 4 days, I was trying to process something and couldn't process it. I just, wanted to see if you guys relate to my story, and also to just acknowledge when I'm going through days of not producing results, but I'm like treading in my tracks, if that makes sense. Like I'm on a train track, but my wheels are turning, but I'm not going anywhere. So that's just how I was feeling. And, you know, this is not the first time in my life this has happened. It's just the first time in my life that this has happened that I want to make a difference. And for me, I think, at the end of the day, I really want to start journaling, what I accomplished that day and what was troubling me that day. I think if I could see my own written words written down of like what was giving me a hard time, I think I could then bring light and ownership of what was actually troubling me. So where I'm going with this is, how can I stop myself in the future from having 4 days of processing without getting results? And what I ended up discovering through so all the best coaches out there have a coach. I have a coach. And I then discovered with my coach that I don't feel the feeling. And how can I get myself to figure out what I was trying to figure out in a shorter amount of time? And what I came up with is two things, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys. The first thing is time. So what if you only had 2 hours to make this decision? And that really hit me really hard, because if I only have 2 hours to make a decision, 2 hours is a long time for me. That's 120 minutes. I mean, I can do a lot in 120 minutes, but also it constrains your brain to figure out what it is I'm having a hard time with in 2 hours versus 5 days. And, I much rather sit down and time myself like this with a 2 hour timer or whatever, however it makes sense for you, into getting what I'm trying to figure out versus spending 5 days. So what I did was I made this chart. So it's broken into 30-minute time blocks. So this is an hour right here. And so I'm gonna write right here what it is my task is. So for this hour. And then so this is 1, 2, 3. This is broken into 4 blocks. You don't have to do that because that's 4 hours, but really to just really prioritize, what am I getting done in this 30 minutes? What am I getting done in this 30 minutes? And for me, it's been life-changing knowing what exactly it is I want to accomplish in that 30 minutes and to actually time myself. And it's actually been really fun to, write down what it is I want to get done and to actually get it done. So then the next thing is, I am a very creative person. So I have a few learning processing styles, but it really starts with auditory, visual, kinesthetic, and tactile. So for me, I had to bring to life what I was seeing in my head. So what I did was I started painting, and I got paint markers, and I went to the craft store, and I got specific paper to write on so it wouldn't mess up my stuff. But what I then learned was my brain, I had to tie in my character strengths. So for me, my number one character strengths are humor, then creativity, gratitude, and forget the fourth one. But basically, how can I tie in humor, creativity, and gratitude within my, learning style of trying to understand what I was processing those 4 days? How can I tie in my character strengths? So for me, I had to tie in, I tied in those factors by taking a blank piece of paper that was probably this size, because the paper size also is a trigger for me. I can't explain why or how, but to me, I got a clean piece of paper and got the colors that were inspiring me, whatever it was, whether it was pink or yellow or purple, red or orange, whatever it was. And I actually visually put on the wall what I was trying to think. And believe it or not, that actually got me to where I am now, where I was able to make the decision. So for me, tying in the creativity of the color and my thoughts and writing it on a wall, so it tied in the creativity part, it tied in the tactile part where I'm using paper, and I'm also using different types of markers and paint, and the paint really gets my brain to think, and pinning it on the wall. And then, next I did kinesthetic. The kinesthetic part of having to get the paper and then put it on my wall and walk around my room to see which part my thought goes onto which paper. So that all was tied in. And then the creativity part of just being able to see the colors and being able to then remember what was said on which paper by the color. Very interesting. But yeah, so I tied in color, and I also then tied in the understanding of what am I really accomplishing in this 30 minutes. So I just wanted to give a few tips for you other inattentives out there. I started my business with on the foundation of I was miserably alone growing up. I didn't know I had ADHD. I was miserably alone in my thoughts. And like, I would do absolutely anything in this world if I could help children and adults realize that really it's just their inattentive ADHD, you know, focusing and replaying those negative thoughts in your head. And for me, I was able to break out of that cycle. That's honestly, it's brain wired. It's the biology of my brain of those inattentive thoughts. But by bringing awareness to it and understanding that my brain enjoys negative thoughts, that I can then combat that by tying in my character strengths, as in the humor and the creativity and the gratitude. So really tying in your character strengths to figure out what is inside of me that I'm not feeling. So for me, next time I have a feeling that I can't feel, I'm going to just put canvas on the wall and I'm going to paint. I'm going to try to figure out what it is I'm trying to think or process through the paint. And that's what I'm going to try to do next time. So if you guys have any, questions about inattentive ADHD, or if this any of what I said ended up working for you, please let me know in the comments below, and feel free to schedule a free consultation with me and to visit my website and learn more about ADHD coaching and group coaching. And I'm Juliana Hock with Easy ADHD Coaching, and I'm so happy to be here. See you guys next time. Bye.